Okay, so we see last class parameter files. What are the parameter files and difference between P file and SP file? Okay, so how to start the database with the P file and with the SP file. So what is the default file created? We everything we see. So let's see today. So how to change the parameters in Oracle database. Okay, so this is the topic. So let's see. Let me connect my database server. This is my database server. Root Oracle. Okay, so let me take IP address. If config 106, let me connect 50. So 192.168.0.106. Root Oracle. Okay, so SUI on Oracle. Let me change settings, appearance, change, routing. Okay, so click on OK. Okay, so now, so just now started this database server. Let me verify. Nothing is running. Grep Pima. So no database are running. Now, how to know how many database are created on this server? There is a file or a tab. So by seeing this file, we come to know there are two databases are created. These are the two database home location. Now I want to start HRMS database. So before starting the HRMS database, you have to set a database ID and a database home location. How to set database ID HRMS DB home location? There is a Aura env utility. So HRMS, I give the HRMS. When I give HRMS, so it set automatically database ID this one, database home location this one. So how to confirm? $Oracle home. Yes, the same location. It set automatically. The DB ID, so Oracle underscore SID. So you can say the database ID it set on a DB home, it set automatically. So by using Oracle. Now, so I can start my HRMS database. How to start the database? You have to SQL plus sysdba. So now database is not running. When your database is not running, if you connect with this command, so it's saying connected to an ideal instance. Means the instance is not running, not live state. So it's ideal state, means not running. Now you can start up. So you can say, let's wait. Database is starting. So the database is starting. So by default, the database started which file it's using.
SP file.
Sorry,
SP file, sir.
1 minute. I think it's okay. Now can you tell me which file using by default?
SP file, sir.
I think your voice is too low. Okay. 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 So it's using SP file. So it's searching for SP file. Suppose if you don't have SP file,
P file, sir.
so P file. So the searching order is it's verify for SP file. If SP file is there in the DBS location, it started database using SP file. So if you don't have SP file, so it search for P file. If P file existing, it start the database using P file. These both the files should be location should be existing should be DBS location. If you have DBS location, the both the files, it will start the database using SP file. If you don't have SP file, the database start with the P file. Okay. Now you can say how to confirm the database started with which file. Yes.
Show parameter P file.
Show parameter.
Show P file.
Show parameter P file. So can say, so here it gives the location under file name. Location, this is the location SP file. So database using SP file. So the naming conversion SP file, HRMS, SP file, SID.ora. That means the database started using SP file. So where the SP file is located, this is my location of SP file. This is the location. This is my SP file name. Okay. So if the DB started here, what could be the location and file name? If DB started using P file, if my DB started using P file, so what is the location here? Location and file name.
Oracle Home and TBS.
Null, sir.
So here, if database started using P file, here the value should be blank. It's not giving a P file. Here the value is blank means we can understand database started using P file only. It's not give the P file name and location. That you have to remember. So when this value it gives if the database started using SP file. Now our database is started using SP file. So that's why it's giving location and file name. If your DB is started using P file, it's not giving anything, just a blank, null. Clear? So okay. So okay, exit. So now you can go on to verify this SP file is existing or not. ls minus lrt. So let me go and check ls minus lrt. You can say this file is existing. The same location, what are the location file name given in the database level? The same location I can see ls minus lrt location under file name. Yes, the file is existing under the same location. So this is the backend, this is the parameter file. Using this parameter file, my database is started. That is the default behavior. When we start Oracle database, backend it's using default SP file. If you don't have SP file in the same location, if you have P file in the same location, yes, that time the second priority goes for P file. First priority goes for SP file. If you don't have SP file in the same location, it's go for P file. If P file existing, it will start. So the location should be same. The SP file is there in the other location. It won't search for other location. It search for P file or SP file, the DBS location only. The location is fixed. Oracle Home DBS. Okay. So now we confirm our database is started using SP file. So, okay, there is a other parameter file. What is that? P file. So what is the difference between P file and SP file?
SP file is in binary format.
Sorry?
SP file is in binary format. P file
Okay.
is in text format.
Okay. P file is a test
It's
file.
in text
So
format.
SP file is a binary file, so we cannot readable
Unable to
that
read, sir.
file parameters. P file is a test file. We can readable. If you want to edit the parameters, which file you can use? P file or
P
SP
file, sir.
file?
P file.
So P file, because SP file is a binary file. We cannot readable that file. Even if you use a VASP file. So some parameters we can read, some parameters we cannot readable. System can understand those parameters. It's a binary format. System can understand binary format. We can understand if it is a binary, it is a test file. If it is a test file, we can understand. So P file is a test file. So by default, when you create the database, which file it was created?
SP file.
SP file, not P file. So when you create the database is created and it started the instance. So it's created SP file backend. It started the database using SP file. So by default, it won't create P file. If you need, you can create the P file using SP file. Okay, that is the two parameter files are there. Difference between P file and SP file. By default, SP file is created. P file, if you want to, you can create the P file to edit the parameters. Okay, so very good. Okay, now we know what are the parameter files are there. What is the difference between P file and SP file? So what is the naming conversion? Everything we know. Now how to change the parameters? Now how to change the parameters? Any database. Suppose okay, you guys are you know all Postgres database. How to change the parameters in Postgres database? Yes. How to change the Postgres parameters? How many ways you can use?
By using
By
system
using
table PG
yes.
at the database level using PG underscore settings, sir. Parameter file.
I am asking what I am asking? How to change the parameters? I don't want to see the parameters. How to change the parameters?
Using alter system command.
Okay, how many methods are there?
Two methods, sir.
Two methods. One is
One is in database
Alter
level,
system
alter
command.
system.
at a DB level, at OS level. The terminology you have to say faster. At a DB level, we can change the parameters. At OS level, we can change the parameters. These are the two methods are there to change the parameters. Any database, not only one database. This almost all the topics are same for any database. If you're familiar with one database, the methods are same. The way of way of the commands are different. The functionality is same for all the databases. That way you can prepare. That way, if you prepare that way, that will easily you can remember. If you're not feel okay, so we are two database learning. This all the database are same. So parameters we can change at any database. At there are two methods are there. At DB level, we can change. At OS level, we can change. How to change the DB level? Then we can say alter statement. DB level, how to change the parameters? Using alter statement. OS level, how can change the parameter? There is a using parameter file. Parameter file. So in Postgres, what is the parameter file? PostgreSQL.config file. If it is okay, in Oracle we know what is the parameter file, either P file or SP file. So what is the test format? Which file it's feasible to edit the file? P file. So
P file.
we can use P file to change the parameters at OS level. Clear? So how to change the parameters? Any database, there are two methods are there. At database level, at OS level, DB level, we can use alter statement, we can change the parameters. At OS level, we can change the parameters by editing parameter file. In Oracle, there are two parameter files are there. One is P file, another one is SP file. So we can edit a P file. So P file is a test file. Whenever you want to change the parameters using OS level, you have to DB should start with the P file, then shut down the database. You can change the parameters inside the P file, then start the database using P file, then create the SP file from P file. So these are the two methods are there to change the parameters. So you can see at OS level using parameter file, at DB level using alter statement. So OS level means we have to use P file only. SP file we cannot use because it's not a test format. It's a binary format file. So we never use the binary format file to edit the parameters. Okay. So fine. We know how to change the parameters either OS level or DB level. Okay. We'll see. So parameters, there are two types of parameters are there again. How to change the parameters? Two methods are there using OS level, DB level. We'll see how to change OS level and DB level. So before changing the parameters, we have to identify what are the types of parameters are there. There is a dynamic parameter and a static parameter. There is a two types of parameters are there. One is a dynamic parameter, other one is static parameter. When we can say this is the dynamic parameter, when we can say this is the static parameter. If it is dynamic, what I do? Suppose I want to change one parameter. After changing the parameter to reflect this new parameter value, what I can do? Either restart the database or few of the parameters required restart the database. Few of the parameters required doesn't restart the database. So for all the parameters, it's not required to restart the database. That any database it's same. Postgres also same. We seen. Postgres also same. Few of the parameters require restart the database. Few of the parameters required to reload the services. Reload the services is an online activity. Restart the database means it's an offline activity, means we require downtime. So here also we have to identify which one is the dynamic parameter, Which one is the static parameter? If it is a dynamic parameter, what I can do? If it is online activity, it is offline activity. That is the most important. If it is an online activity, dynamic means it's an online activity. We can do parameters. You can change the parameters while database is running. What are the changed parameters reflected immediately without restart the database. That means restart not required. Restart the database. Restart the database not required. Here restart is required. Here restart is required. So if it is a static parameter, yes, you are going to change one parameter. That parameter we should know whether it is static or dynamic. If it is static, must and should take the downtime before do that. Because once you change the parameter, after changing the parameter, to reflect that parameter value, the database should be restart. The database should be required to restart the database services. If you restart the database, that means front-end application, it's a required downtime. They cannot access the application if you restart the database. Suppose you take Flipkart. The application is running, backend database should be running. If the backend database is down, we cannot access any application, internet banking, Flipkart, e-commerce, any application, that could be anything. Backend, if everything is up, then only you can access front-end applications. So when you restart the database, when you require downtime, yes, I need to change this parameter. This is the static parameter. So after changing the parameter, I need to restart the database. So you have to take the proper approval from database manager and application manager. They have to analyze, yes, what parameter, what time you are going to do. So if you doing this activity weekdays, business hours, they don't allow to take downtime. They suggest go to the non-business hours. In India, non-business hours, mostly night timings, 10 to 6 a.m. So go to that time or weekend. Weekend, they suggest non-business hours. If it is a database required downtime. If it is dynamic, I can do anything because the database services not required to restart. Just you can change the parameter, immediately reflect in the new value without a restart the database. That is the online activity. That is the online activity. If it is a static parameter, yes, we have to take the proper downtime from both the database manager and application manager. So you have to keep the activity time change window. You have to raise a change request. If you get the downtime, that time we call as a change window time. Change window time should be non-business hours. That could be weekend or night timings. Yes, if everything is, we have to mention how many hours need downtime. This activity is suppose 1 hour time. So you can keep extra 1.5 hour or 2 hours time. So we can do the change, restart the database. You can check the new value reflected or not. Then you can send a mail. The activity completed. Please go and start your services. So once you up the database service or everything is good, then we have to inform the application team, the Flipkart who developed backend Java, .NET, that application team. We have to inform to please start your application services. Our activity is done, database services, everything is good from our side. Like this, we can do whenever you want to change any parameter. The process is same. That could be anything. That could be Postgres, that could be SQL Server, that could be Mongo. The process is same. We have to know. If you change this parameter after what we required, it is required restart or not required. If it is required restart, yes, we have to raise a change request for anything. Okay, either require restart the database or not required. Change request is mandatory when you do production. For required restart the database means, yes, we have to take the downtime, get the approval, then make the change window so and so 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. like that, 2 hours, 3 hours. You can do activity. Once done, you can inform the application team. There also, they can start their services. We can monitor 30 to 40 minutes. Everything is good or not, front end and back end. So that way we can do whenever you want to change the parameters. So here two types of parameters are there. Dynamic parameter, static parameter. If it is dynamic means that's the online activity. Restart is not required. Restart not required. Restart not required. Here restart is required when the parameters are static. It's an offline activity. Okay. How to know whether it is static or dynamic? How to know? So and so parameter. Suppose there is a parameter process. There is a parameter name is processes. So I want to change this parameter, the default value 300. So I want to make processes parameter value 300 to 400, some value I want to change, I want to increase. So how to know? After this how to change the parameter we know, either using DB level or OS level. But after changing the parameter, what we can do to reflect the value? So to do that, you must know whether it is static or dynamic, this parameter. So if it is static, yes, must and should database services are restarted to reflect the new value, that is 400. If it is a dynamic parameter, database services are not required. Whenever you change the parameter, immediately the value will be reflected without restarting the DB services. So you have to know this processes is a static or dynamic parameter. So how to know this process parameter is dynamic or static? So for all the parameters where you can see first, for all the parameters where you can see, let me, okay. So for all the parameters where you can see at OS level using parameter file, we can get the all the parameters information at OS at a DB level. At a DB level, yes, at Postgres, how can see parameters at a DB level? What is the system table you can use?
PG underscore settings.
Yes.
Settings, sir.
So, okay, that is Postgres. In Oracle, there is you can use $v parameter. At a DB level, if you want to see all the existing parameter names and values, you can use $v parameter. In Oracle, almost all the system tables start with the $v database, $v tables, $v parameter, like this. So few of the system tables, it will start with the DBA underscore users, DBA underscore tables, DBA underscore like this. Okay, so this is where $v parameter is a system table. So why we can use this table? To get the all the existing parameter names and values. So there is a column. Is sys modifiable. Can say is sys modifiable. If this column value is false, that parameter is static parameter. Means system is able to modify this value or not. If it is false, means cannot modify this system, means it's a static parameter. Based on this value, we can understand so and so parameter. I want to know for this parameter, what is the value of is sys modifiable. You can run this query, you can get the value of parameter name process. Is sys modifiable value false, means this is the static parameter. Based on this value, we can understand whether it is a static or dynamic. In Postgres, how we come to know whether it is static or dynamic? Whether it is required restart the database or not? Restart the database means that is a static. Reload the services means that is a dynamic. How we come to know?
Under system table PG underscore settings, there is a context equal to postmaster.
Yeah, so based on the context value. Here also same $v parameter, there is a is sys modifiable. Based on this value, we can understand. So if it is true means, can say if it is immediate. So what are the possible values? Is sys modifiable? It could be immediate, it could be deferred, it could be false. What is the use of distinct?
Unit.
Yes. What is the use of distinct clause?
Remove the duplicates.
Duplicate, sir.
Remove the duplicates. So without destinator, how many values we can get? Can say, let me connect the database sys DBA. Can say how many? These many rows are there. Set pages 900, lines 1000. Can say how many rows? 445 rows listed. Out of 445, how many duplicates are there? For all 445, there is a unique value 3 only. Immediate, false, default. So 442 duplicate values are there. So if we use distinct clause, it remove all the duplicates. That means immediate, how many rows are there? Suppose 200 rows are there, immediate. It give only one time only. Default, how many rows are there? Suppose 100. Only one time it will print. False, how many rows are there? Suppose 100. So it will print only unique records only. Can say, what are the possible values? It could be immediate, it could be default, it could be false. So this is column is very, very important. $V parameter. Based on this column value, we can understand whether it is a static parameter or dynamic parameter. If it is a value is immediate, suppose if you take another parameter. So that parameter is value for is modifiable immediate, suppose immediate. That means that is a dynamic parameter. So except immediate, either immediate, can say except immediate, the remaining either deferred or false. If you see any parameter value is modifiable values either deferred or false, that means those are static parameters. Understand how to identify which one is static or which one is dynamic parameter? Any queries from anyone? Let me know if you have any queries.
Yeah, I understand. Like, immediate is a dynamic and default
Yeah.
false is a static. But what is the parameter name?
This is the parameter. You can say process.
Okay.
Suppose I want to change process parameter. So how to check the process parameter value? Show parameter name. How to check the parameter value? This is the syntax. Show parameter name. So show parameter, what is parameter value? Want to see show parameter process. Can see this is the 300 is the current value. I want to change 300 to 400. Which parameter? This is my process parameter name. So for that you have to know what is the value of is modifiable for this value. So name means parameter name. So select name comma is modifiable from VDALA parameter where name equal to process. For this parameter only I want to know this value. It is false. If it is false means it's a static parameter. Suppose if you change this parameter, what we do? If it is static, what we do? We have to restart the database services until unless the parameter value, its old value only. Even though if you change the parameter, it doesn't reflect the new value until unless if you restart the DB services. After restart the DB services, then only when you check the process parameter, it will show the latest value 400. That means if it is a static, we have to restart the DB services. After you change the parameter, either you can use OS level or DB level. Clear? What we do if it is static, what we do if it is dynamic. Dynamic means nothing is required. Just you can change the parameter using any method. You can check the parameter value by using this syntax. Show parameter name. It gives the latest value. If it is dynamic means not required to restart the DB services. If it is static, it's required mandatory. It's required to restart the DB services if it is a static parameter. Clear all of you? Okay. We know how to change the parameters, how to know which one is static or which one is dynamic. Then what we do if it is static, if it is a dynamic, That also we know. Then we go and change the parameters. Let's do practical. So my can say show parameter p file. P file is a one of the parameter name. P file. For all the parameter names, if you want to know, select a name from. Let me. So how to check the table columns, table structure? DESC, description.
Yes.
In Postgres, how to check? /d space, /d space table name. Here, DESC table name to get all the column names. $parameter. $parameter. Can say if you don't know column names, yes, you can description the table name. Can say name, parameter name, type. It's a so can say value, parameter name, value. Can say let me select name comma value from $parameter. $parameter. Can say value means either so parameter value. Suppose if you want to know process parameter, let me you can keep the condition where so parameter name equal to where name equal to process. Can say sorry select can say so name is the parameter name process. What is the value? 300. So by using this $$ parameter, you come to know what is the parameter value, or you can use like this also. So show parameter name process. You can use any method. This is the parameter name process 300. If you want to know the same value from $$ parameter, you can use this value also. Clear? Select a name for okay. If you can here with the column with it's too long, you can decrease column name for A10, A20. Column other column value for A20. Now can say now execute. Can say side by side. You can decrease this value like this. So let me or you can use like this either $$ parameter or you can use show parameter. Anything is fine. Okay. So now my parameter value, its a parameter name is process. It's currently the value is 300. Now I want to change this process parameter. So whether it is static or dynamic, we already verified. So the sys module is a value is false. So this is a static parameter. If you change this parameter, how to change this parameter? You can use either OS level or if you want to change the parameter at OS level, you have to use P file. You have to use P file at OS level. VI P file you can change. We'll see. Now we'll change the parameters using a alter system command. We can change the parameter using alter system command. So let me go on to you can say alter system set. Alter system set. What is the parameter? Process equal to 400.
హలో సుప్రీం నిన్న క్లాస్ వింటాడు ఒక్క మాకు అర్థమవుతుంది నేను ఎట్లా
Please keep on. So can say alter system set process equal to 400. Okay. So if it is a static parameter, If it is a static parameter, there is a scope, we have to use scope parameter. So what is our database started using SP file or P file? SP file, we already verified. So you can use SP file or memory or both. You can use scope. I will tell you what is scope. Scope equal to SP file or memory. SP file means this parameter value reflected in the parameter file only. If we use scope equal to SP file, the parameter value reflected in the backend parameter file. If you keep memory means that parameter value reflected in this instance only, not parameter file. So in this memory means, suppose, okay, if you open notepad, let's see, clear, understand. If you open notepad, suppose here I typed something, okay. Suppose this is a notepad, new. This is new Oracle batch. So now I haven't saved this information. So till how much this information available in this notepad? Tell me. This is saved in the disk or memory right now? Right now, I haven't saved this information, this file. I opened the notepad file, I typed this line. This is currently, it's there in the memory or backend disk. Tell me anyone?
Memory.
Memory. Because if you saved this file, it's asking to where you want to save. Means on which disk. There are 3 disks are there here. Disk C, disk D, disk E. Means if you save this file means it's permanently saved inside the disk. It's save the information inside memory means till this laptop is restarted, till that time that notepad file is available. When you restart this system, laptop, that notepad file is available? No. So when you give scope equal to memory, that parameter value, it's reflected in the memory only, means in the current instance it's reflected. In the memory means when this, till what time this new parameter value reflected? Till restart the, when you exit, that value will be gone. If you keep SP file, it's not reflected in the current instance, it's reflected, it save the parameter value inside the parameter SP file. If you keep both, it save the value inside the backend parameter file SP file and also the new value reflected in the current instance also. So always we have to use scope equal to scope equal alter system process.
Maybe scope we have to give in quotes both.
You can say, let me SP file. I given SP file. So means this value. Let me check. Show parameter. What is the value? You can say after changing this file also. After changing this parameter, what is the value showing? 300 only. 300 only. So for dynamic parameter, scope equal to should be SP file only. Means dynamically it's changing. So dynamic parameter. For static, we have to use scope equal to SP file. For dynamic, we can use either both SP file memory. So here for static parameter, we have to use SP file only. Means for static, when the value will be reflected, this value after restarting. If we keep memory means without restarting, it should be reflected. But for static, we should restart the DB services. Without a restart the DB services, the value could not reflect on the memory. So that's why we cannot use scope equal to memory, scope equal to both. For static parameters, we should use SP file only. Scope means the parameter value will be reflected inside the parameter file only, not current instance. If you want to reflect in the current instance for static parameters, it's not possible. Means without a restart, the value won't reflect. Now let me restart. Clear? Why here it's failed means, everybody understand this parameter? Scope equal to both. Why it's failed? If it is both means this value will be trying to reflect backend SP file as well as in the current instance. When the current instance, the value will be reflected. If the service is not required, when you change the parameter, the service is not required, that time it's reflected on the memory. But here, if it is a static parameter, make sure restart the DB services. Specified installation parameter cannot be modified dynamically. That is the error. So for static, you have to use scope equal to SP4. That means this value will be changed inside this parameter file currently, not current instance, not in the memory. When this value will be reflected, when you restart the database services with stopping, and while starting, my database service read this SP file, take the new value and reflect the value. Let me immediate, shut immediate, restart, stop and start the database. Clear? Any queries? For a dynamic, I can use scope equal to SP file or memory, because without restart, it will be reflect memory immediately. It will reflect a backend parameter file, because it's not required to restart the DB services. Okay, now let me start up. You can see. Now, while starting, it will read the SP file. Take the new value, because already changed here. Let me check. Now you can see it give the latest value 400. Because process is a static parameter, whenever you want to change, after change, it should be required database services restart. After restarting, it will read the SP file. When you change the parameter, the new value will be saved inside the SP file only. Again, shut down and start up. While starting, it read the SP file. While reading, it identify it value is 400. So it's reflected. Now the new value will be reflected. This is how you can change the static parameters. Anyone, any queries for static parameters? Mandatory, required restart the database services. Clear? Any queries, anyone? Can say we change the parameter. Next, when you see process 300 is there, then after restarting, the value will be reflected. So shut the immediate, start up, show parameter process. Same thing we see. This is how we can change the static parameters. Okay, let's see dynamic parameters. There is a parameter open underscore cursors. What is the open underscore cursor value currently? You can say now my database started which file? Show parameter p file. You can say it started as p file only. So now there is a open underscore cursor. What is the value? 300. Now I want to change this parameter 300. How to check this static or dynamic? Tell me. If you don't know column names, you can use DESC, $, parameter, take the columns what we required. Tell me how to know whether it is static or dynamic. Tell me. Yes. How to know this parameter static or dynamic? Tell me the. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Under column name is modifiable immediately.
Yes, that's what I want ask you to tell. Select a name, comma, is a sys. You can say where this column is a sys module. This is the one. From $, parameter where name equal to. So what is the open underscore cursor? Open underscore cursors. Open underscore cursor. Okay, cursor. Open underscore cursor. What? Open select name. Open underscore cursor. CURSOR. CUR. Select name, comma, is sys modifiable. where name like is like open. What is the select a name from $, parameter where name like open op open underscore links there. Show
Sir, yes is missing at last.
sorry.
Yes is missing at last in the first query.
Open underscore cursor C or S or
Yes at last.
no. Can see this is the my parameter name. Let me show parameter. Can see?
Sir, S is missing, sir.
Yes. Okay, let me cursors. Okay, when you give while show parameter, so okay, even though if you give cursor, it gives the started with the cursor. When you use $v parameter, you have to use complete name. This is the complete open underscore cursors. Or you can use so is like parameter from $v data $v parameter where parameter correct where name like it should be give open underscore cursors where name equal to single quotes. Okay, what is the value? Is sysmodable immediate. This is the is sysmodable for open underscore cursors. It's immediate. Immediate means it's a dynamic parameter. It's a dynamic parameter. When you see immediate, except immediate, if it is deferred or false, that is a static. For any parameter is sysmodable is immediate. You can understand this parameter is dynamic. If you change this parameter, it's not required DB services. Immediately it's reflected. So without DB services means we can use scope parameter, either memory or SP file or both. If we use, let me paint. Understand scope or you want to more detail? Suppose this is my database. Okay. So this is my parameter file. Where the parameter file existing? Tell me what is the location?
Oracle home / DBS.
Oracle home DBS. This is my disk where the parameter will be stored. All the files disk. Suppose what is the path we used? User one something. User an app Oracle something. So that is the disk. Okay. What is the parameter file? SP file hrms.ora. Okay. This is my parameter file. So what is the current value here? Okay. So open underscore cursor equal to 300 right now. Okay. Right now 300. Okay. So now this is my instance. This is my instance. Here user is connected. User is establish the connection using SQL plus connect the instance. This is the memory. So here when you give show parameter, so what is the parameter value? It will go to the read the parameter file. It gives the value 300. When you change the parameter, how to change the parameter? Using alter system set open underscore cursors equal to 400 and scope equal, suppose scope equal to when I give memory, suppose I given memory scope means this value will be changed inside the memory only. Inside the memory means inside the memory means this is the memory we call as a SGA system global area. Every database there is a memory is allocated. So system global area SGA. So when you do select star from EMP or anything, first there is suppose here my data files are there. If you give select star from EMP, first it will go to the data files. It read the data and keep the data here, EMP table data, and display the user terminal. So this is the memory or instance. So when you give scope equal to memory, here the value will be changed. Now open underscore cursors. What is value? 400. So this instance, this whatever the reflected values, whatever the data available memory. Till what time this memory is available? Till restart your database. Suppose your database is restarted. So where the data will be permanently stored? The data will be permanently stored inside the parameter file, inside the data files. For all the parameters stored parameter file, for all the data will be stored inside the data files. In this place, my data or parameters will be saved permanently because this is the disk. This is the memory. When you give scope equal to SP file, scope equal to SP file, while changing I given scope equal to SP file. So the new value will be reflected inside the parameter file. The new value will be reflected inside the parameter file, not instance, not in the memory. Here the value will be changed. Here open underscore cursors equal to 400. Yes. But on the memory, my database already started. While starting, what is the value? 300. So in the memory, it's 300 only. It's not reflected in the memory. When the new value reflected, after restarting the database, it read the parameter value from parameter file, it reflects the new value. Until unless it will be old value only. When you give scope equal to both, when you give scope equal to both, what is the meaning? It will reflect the memory as well as SP file. Both the places reflected without restart the DB services. So when you restart the DB services, whatever the value memory, this will be there till DB services restarted. Once restart the services, while restarting, read the parameter file, get the new value, reflect the same value, because while changing, I given scope equal to both. Very, very important scope parameter. Anybody still any queries? Yes, anyone?
Yeah, I understand this concept, Venki, but what is open cursors?
Yeah, that is the parameter. That is the PL SQL related thing. What are that? Okay, so what are the parameter? DB related parameters are there. PL SQL, it's the developer, suppose this is a procedure package related parameter. They ask you to change the parameter. That's it. As a DBA, no need to in depth for all the parameters. Suppose max connections. Yes, we know. Process, we know. Parameter, process. So like this, these are all parameters. Okay, if someone they ask to change, or as a DBA, suppose process is we sometimes we get the alert, process are reached the current limit. So we have to increase the limit. Based on the alert log messages, we have to increase the parameters. So what is the parameter? Why we are using some parameters? They designed for development purpose. We are not developers. As a DBA, we can change the parameter what they suggested developer. Clear?
Yeah, but at least processes is we understand as the name suggests, it's the process which we are increasing, and max connections is the number
That's
of
what
connections.
few parameters related to DBA. Those we can understand. We should know.
No, but we should understand at least, right, few parameters.
What are the
Best
parameters
practice.
required for development part? So they suggested that for PL SQL development part. Okay. Cursor's topic is there. In SQL Server is there cursor topic? I don't know. In Oracle, there is a cursor topic is there in PL SQL part. Who are working as a developer, they know why they are using this parameter. As a DBA, it is not required. No need to get the more details. Okay. If you want to, you can search in Google. I never worked on development part. Okay. Okay. Any queries for understanding scope parameter to change the parameters, whether it is static or dynamic, or so if we change the parameter, what we do? If it is static, what we do? If it is dynamic, what we do? In this, as a DBA perspective, if you have any queries, let me know. Okay, so you can change. Okay, so same alter system. Let me. What is my putty? Okay, so you can see now I change it. Now let me show parameter open underscore cursor. Now new value will be reflected because we given scope equal to both. Means the new value will be reflected on the current instance memory as well as from SP file. Both the places the value will be reflected. This is the dynamic parameter. No need to restart the DB services. This is how you can change the parameters if it is dynamic or static. This both the parameters we changed using DB level using alter system command. How to change the parameters at voice level? One method we seen, that is the DB level. So if you want to change the parameters voice level, whether it is static or dynamic, if you want to change the parameters using voice level, the database service should be, the downtime should be required. Because while running the database, we cannot edit the parameter file backend. If you want to edit the parameter file, you should be, database services should be down. You can shut down the database, then go to the parameter file, change the parameter, then start the database. That is the process. So now let me, okay, SQL plus the database started which file? Show parameter P file, SP file. Let me create the P file. Means why we need to create the P file? I want to change the parameters using P file. Now if I create P file, whatever the changes are there in the SP file, everything gets copied into P file. It's create the P file. How to create the P file? Create P file from SP file. Because my database is running with SP file. What are the changes currently there in the inside this file? You can create a P file using this existing SP file. Yes, P file is created. Everything, whatever the values are there, everything get copied into inside this P file. Let me now shut down. Shut immediate. Yes. So shut immediate. Okay, exit. Now where we are in, go to Oracle home location, DBS. You can see here, what is the P file here? Init star. You can search with the ls-lrt init star. There are number of files are there. Suppose 10 database are there. 10 files are there. SP files and P files. Maybe sometimes they created. So you can search with always ls-lrt init star. So it gives the current P files. What are the P files there in the location? It gives. If you want to search with SP files, you can SP star. Yes, these are the SP files are existing. These are the P files are existing in the current DBS location. So this is the just now created this P file. You can say timestamp 29, 2059 just now. Now I want to change the parameter VI. My database, make sure database is not running when you edit the P file backend. Pman not running. Now this is a good process. This is a good time to start edit this file P file. So you can say process. What is the value currently? 400. I want to change the 400 to 300. You can say 300. Yes. So why it's 400? P file gets everything is copied from SP file only. In SP file we change the 300 to 400. Again we change the back to old value WQ. Save the file. Same how the file in Linux, how they edit the file, the same you can change the value. You can save the file. Now you can start the database using P file because we change the parameter inside the P file, not SP file. Now we have to start the database with the P file. Now we have, let me connect the database SQL plus is DBA. Now how to start the database using P file? Inside the DBS location, both the files are there. SP file is there, P file is there. When you give startup, database started with which file? Using default SP file. Now I want to start with P file. How to do that? Yes, tell me.
Remove the SP file, sir.
Sorry?
Remove the SP file under DBS.
That's why I want to start with the database using P file. How to start?
You have to give the P file location.
So startup p file equal to p file location and name. When you have both the SP file and P file is there in the DBS location. If we give startup, simple startup, by default it's using SP file only. So I want to start with the P file. Why? Because I change the parameters inside the P file, not SP file. So let me startup P file equal to. So what is the location? What is the location? So, okay, second say, what is the P file? Let me keep single quotes. P file equal to, what is the P file? Init hrms.vara. Can say startup P file equal to. So, we have to tell to system, please start the database using P file. If you not tell, if you not mention, by default it's using SP file. That is the behavior of the database, default behavior. Okay. Now, so now you can check show parameter P file. What is the, can say, it's give blank. That means my database started using P file, not SP file. If it is SP file, it gives the SP file name and location. So now you can check the value. What value you change in P file? Show parameter process. Can say 300 only. Yes. If it is a dynamic or static, make sure you have to shut down the database, go to the parameter file location, edit the P file, change the parameter value, then start the database using P file. Now, ultimately, the database should be running with SP file. That is recommended by Oracle. So now, whatever the changes are there in the P file, those should be moved to SP file. How to do that? Then again, create SP file from P file. Before we create P file from SP file, because the latest changes are in the SP file. Now the latest changes there in the P file and database running with P file. Now I want to create a SP file from P file, then start with the database using SP file, because that is recommended by Oracle. Database start with SP file. Now you can say, now short immediate startup, simple startup. Now it will start the using by default SP file. Check the process parameter. Don't confuse it. Short immediate. Oracle instance shutdown. Now startup. Even though both the P file or SP file are existing, if you give startup, if you are not mentioned P file, it start with SP file. Yes, SP file is there. Just now created a latest SP file. Yes. Now check the process parameter. Check the P file, show parameter P file, then check the parameter. Show parameter P file. My database started with SP file. And also check the parameter, show parameter process. You can say 300 only. If you start with old SP file, there in the 400 is the old SP file. I created a SP file from P file, means it's override the existing SP file. So it gets the latest value from P file, everything. It started a current SP file. It show the same value, what are the value change in the P file. So this is how you can change the parameters using OS level parameter file. Yes, any queries from anyone? Okay, so this should be you should be understand this scope parameter. You can see for a dynamic you can use both, either SP file or memory or both. For static, we have to use a scope equal to SP file only. Means first change the parameter value. It should be reflected in the backend parameter file. Then you can restart the database, so that while restarting, read this SP file, reflect the value into memory also. If you use memory or both, it throws the error. We already seen that error. Can say change the parameters using parameter file. Create P file, shut down the database. Create P file. from SP file and shut down the database. Then VI P file, change the parameters, start the database using P file, then create SP file P file, start the database using SP file. So all the practical things are done. Okay. So that's it from my side today. Let me